If I spend the rest of my life making wildlife films in Texas, we will still not cover nearly all of the stories that exist out there.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for our Made in Texas interview series. Today, I am joined by Ben Masters, writer and director of the documentary feature film Deep in the Heart. Ben, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Alec.
Yeah, it's great. Well, why don't we start with you just telling us a bit about the project itself?
So, Deep in the Heart is a 95-minute movie about Texas wildlife. It's Texas's first, large wildlife movie. It has 12 different wildlife sequences in it, and the storytelling style is kind of similar to Planet Earth in the sense that it has, a narrator who is Matthew McConaughey in our story. Sorry, David Attenborough. And all of the wildlife sequences are based here in Texas. The high plains. We did a buffalo story all the way down to like deep South Texas, where we did an ocelot story, all the way out to the flower gardens, where we did a coral spawn scene. And the film showcases some of Texas's most incredible wildlife species and behaviors. And this also has this really strong conservation messaging of how we've done a lot and how we need to do more.
You've mentioned in the film that 95% of Texas is privately owned. Can you talk a little bit about where you guys filmed and kind of your experience working with property owners?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, whenever we ask somebody if we can film on their property, we're met with, plate full of tacos and, a key to the gate and a room to stay in. There was other sequences and species that we filmed, like the bison that was up at the Caprock Canyon State Park. Black bears, we filmed those in Big Bend. So yeah, we filmed on a variety of different land ownership types, but for the most part, we found that people were extremely forthcoming and generous with wanting to share the wildlife on the property.
One of my favorite scenes is when you have show that old sawmill in East Texas. I love that the whole story and the buildup of that regrowth of that forest. How did you guys find that particular location?
So the Aldridge Sawmill in East Texas is the remains and the ruins of this location where 100 years ago they gathered all the wood from the surrounding area. And you look at it now, and the forest has regrown all around it. So it's this very visual example of like if you give nature a chance to come back, it will. That site was something that was suggested to us by a person that I met on Facebook, Matt Buckingham. He's just this amazing photographer, and we were looking for an East Texas story, and we were going to do something around the longleaf pine ecosystem, which is a very rare ecosystem type in Texas that used to be a lot more prevalent. I was just looking through his social media, and I saw these images of the Aldridge Sawmill, and then we went out there, and yeah, really neat scene, and really kind of gives you a perspective of time.
Absolutely. You filmed a few other projects in Texas. What would you say is the best part about filming in Texas?
What's so great about Texas is its size and also just its diversity. I mean, whatever you type of habitat you want to film in, we've got it, from the Rockies to the southern swamps up to the high plains, even to like this tropical stuff down there in the lower Rio Grande Valley. If I spend the rest of my life making wildlife films in Texas, we will still not cover nearly all of the stories that exist out there. So that's definitely a huge benefit of living here. It's just the opportunity.
Well, how can our viewers watch Deep in the Heart?
So Deep in the Heart, sorry you missed it in theaters. Should have seen it, but now it's on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon Prime, many places where you can just look up a movie to watch. You'll be able to find it.
Well, Ben, thank you so much for joining us here today. And thank you so much for making this film. We needed a Texas wildlife film that covered the whole state and the incredibly unique place that it is. And you did a really incredible job. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.